Hello and welcome. I'm Shirbai Chin, and this is Kaji Longlong's The Explainer, where we break down big, complex ideas into stories that make sense.
All right, let's jump right in with a really provocative statement. This comes from Dimas Hassabis, the leader of Google DeepMind and a Nobel laureate. What he's saying here is that the universe, with all its complexity, from biology all the way to the cosmos, well, it might just be solvable.
I mean, that's a huge claim, right? But just for a second, what if he's right? What would that actually mean for us if AI could learn to decode the very fabric of our reality? That's a huge question we're going to unpack in this explainer.
So, first things first. How could any system, AI or otherwise, even begin to tackle problems that seem impossibly complex? Well, it all starts with this idea of cracking nature's code, of turning these massive, impossible problems into something elegant, something manageable.
To put this into perspective, let's look at the game of Go. The number you're seeing here, it's just mind-boggling. That's how many possible positions there are on the board. It's a number that's way bigger than the number of atoms in the entire known universe. So trying to solve it by checking every single move, what we call a brute force approach, it's not going to happen. Computationally impossible.
And that brings us to the real breakthrough, this fundamental shift in thinking. Instead of brute force, AI systems like AlphaGo do something much smarter. They build a model of the problem. They learn the patterns, the underlying structure of the game, and that lets them navigate this enormous space of possibilities, finding these clever, efficient shortcuts to a solution.
This connects to a really beautiful core insight that Hassabis calls survival of the stablest. The idea here is that our universe isn't just a jumble of random data. Everything, from proteins folding to planets forming, has been shaped by physical laws and evolution for billions of years. All that shaping creates structure. It creates non-random learnable patterns.
And look, this isn't just a cool theory. The proof is right there in the protein. For 50 years, predicting how a protein folds was this grand challenge in biology, something many thought was impossible. But DeepMind's AlphaFold did it. It figured out the 3D structure of proteins just from their basic sequence. And this Nobel Prize-winning work is the ultimate proof that a deeply complex natural system can, in fact, be cracked by a computer.
Okay, so if AI can model something as complex as biology, what's next? Well, the next logical step is to apply this to the physical world around us. We're talking about simulating reality itself, from the code on our screens to the vastness of the cosmos.
So how in the world does this work? Well, you take an AI, something like Google's Veo, and you just let it watch millions and millions of hours of raw video. And from just watching, it starts to figure things out. It starts to reverse engineer an intuitive model of physics. How light bounces, how water splashes, the way things fall. It's learning the fundamental rules of our world just by observing.
And some of the results are just wild. Hassabis, who actually used to program physics engines for video games, talks about seeing the AI generate videos of clear liquids being crushed in a hydraulic press. That stuff is incredibly hard for a human to program to get it to look right, and yet the AI is learning it just by watching YouTube. It's amazing.
Now think about what this means for things like video games. Right now, even the biggest open-world games are really just giving you an illusion of choice on a pre-scripted path. But the future we're talking about here is one with truly dynamic worlds, generated by AI in real time. Worlds that create completely unique stories and environments that react to every single thing you do. A truly infinite personal adventure.
So, where does all this lead? What's the end game here? What is the grand purpose of building an AI that can simulate reality so perfectly? That question really gets to the heart of this entire research mission.
Yeah? Why go through all this trouble? What's the actual point of creating a system that can understand the universe on such a deep level?
For Hassabis and the team at DeepMind, the answer has always been crystal clear. The goal is to build artificial general intelligence, AGI, as the ultimate tool to help us, humanity, solve science itself.
And we're not talking about small problems. We're talking about the biggest, grandest challenges in science. Could an AGI help us crack P versus NP? A really deep mathematical question. Could it run a complete simulation of a living cell? Or maybe even help us figure out how life began? What about the nature of gravity, or even consciousness itself? These are the moonshots.
This kind of thinking inevitably makes you wonder about our own role in all of this. If the universe really is computable,
And if reality can be simulated, then what does that say about us, about humanity's place in it all?
But let's not get ahead of ourselves and forget the human element. There's this legendary story from the AlphaGo match. The Go master Lee Sedol played move 78. It was a move of such stunning, out-of-the-box creativity. They literally called it the hand of God, that it completely shocked the AI. It's just this beautiful, powerful reminder of that spark of human intuition, that genius that goes beyond pure calculation.
And really, that's what drives this whole thing. It's a deep, philosophical quest. As Hassabis himself puts it, he's always had this question just screaming at him, what is going on here? And he means that in the deepest possible sense, the nature of reality. That has to be the ultimate question. It's not just about building tech, it's about trying to understand our own existence.
So that leaves us with one final, pretty mind-bending question to chew on. If an artificial intelligence can one day simulate our world perfectly, down to the last detail, then what exactly is it that makes our reality real? That's definitely something worth thinking about.